Yeah, good afternoon, students. Yeah, and welcome to the capital market workshop. So this is our session number 4, and today we will take it ahead from where we left in the last session. So if you all remember in the last session, what we did, we studied different concepts of intermediaries who are involved in the stock markets. I'll quickly take you through that, and then we can move ahead. So we studied who are the depositories like NSDL, CDSL, who are the stockbrokers wherein you can open your demat account and then you can trade. We also discussed the top brokers like Grow, Zerodha, Motilal Oswal. Some of you mentioned that your parents or other family members, they're using these kind of accounts. Then we also discussed that you go and ask them keep what kind of stocks you're holding and all that. Then we studied about face value of the stock and so on. So basically, in the end, what we discussed was how many of you or how many of your family members already have a demat account. And I asked you that just go and ask them ki what kind of stocks you're holding, since how long you're holding, and are they all in profit or some of them are in losses. So anybody of you got a chance to speak with the family members and ask ki what kind of stocks or portfolio they are holding into, any stocks, mutual fund, anything, and what was the response? And if they told you, yeah, some of the shares are in the losses or some of them are in good profits, any example of that, if you can share? Suzlon, TVS Motor, CMR Green are in the profit. Okay. Recently, I offered my mom to buy 3 of the Vedanta demerger. Okay. Someone has a doubt. The closing rate of yesterday should be the opening rate of the tomorrow, but that is not the case. Why? So basically, every morning when there is a pre-opening session, if you observe. So 9 to 9:07, it is a pre-opening session, and then all the bids in the first 7 to 8 minutes are offered by the buyers and sellers. They are matched, and when you open at 9:15, those rates appear in front of you. So that's why closing rate of yesterday is not applicable for the opening rate of the today, because after the evening there is again some kind of news flow happens. If there is a result of a company, if there are any other news items which are there, all those factors are there to price in the yesterday's price, and accordingly the next day price will react. If there was a war going on in the yesterday and after the market, like many times Donald Trump has done, he will say that now we want to make a deal, so automatically next day stock prices will open up higher. So that's why whenever the market closes, n number of things happen, and that's why the next day prices are usually different than the yesterday's prices. If there is not many much news, maybe you can say if the stock closed at 800 rupees, it will open maybe at 802, 803, or maybe 795, 798 kind of a range. But if there is a drastic news item like a result of the stock or result of the company or any other geopolitical event, yeah, then 3-4% up and down also movement of the stock is possible in the opening itself. That result is same. N number of news items happens after 3:30 till the next day morning of the stock opening price. So that is the reason, nothing else. Some of you have mentioned good stocks profits and some of them are in the losses. So what are the reasons your parents told you that why some of these stocks are in the losses and since how long they are holding? Yes, why is the reason? Because of the war, crude oil prices are higher right now, and most of the foreign institutional investors or the FIIs, they are selling in the Indian stock markets. If you see the massive sell-off, I'll just show you some figures. You can have a look at how far they have sold into. If you just go and type on FII DI data, n number of websites offer you this kind of data. Last 1 or 2 years of entire results you will see there. So see, this is the data of FII and DII of the last few months or so you can say. So this is yesterday's figure. Yesterday also DI net figure is 3,500 CR of buying and 1,000 crore is sold by FII again. Maybe if you can get a data a little over 1 month time period, we will see if that is available. If you check on the FII history, see how much of the selling FII has done in this current month also. Huge selling. So this is a monthly data. If you click, so see in the month of April, FIIs have sold 70,000 CR. In the month of June, they have sold 47,000 CR. In the month of May, they have sold 55,000 CR. In the month of March, they have sold 1.20 lakh crore. So see kitna selling kiya hai FII ने. That much of selling has happened, and that is the main reason. See, DIs are buying. DIs is nothing but domestic institutional funds. It is nothing but your mutual funds and your banks or LIC. These are the players who are known as DI, and FI is basically foreign investors. So foreign investors continuously for last 2-3 years are selling. They have sold more than 3-4 lakh crore of equities into Indian market in the last 1 year, and another 3-4 lakh crore in the equities last year. So 2024, 2025, 2026, half 2.5 years continuously they are selling. Today again, if you see, the market is down mostly because of the IT stocks. So Infosys, TCS, all these big stocks are down by 7 to 8% today. The reason was again yesterday in the US market, Accenture company gave a bad guidance about the future earnings of the IT services company, and that is the reason Indian stocks have failed, Indian IT stocks especially. So major reason behind the market fall is basically FII selling. That is, foreign institutional investors are selling in the Indian market from the last 2 years. And that is the reason Indian markets have not performed well. But once they come back, you will again see that our markets also will go to the new lifetime high. So these are nothing but the cycles in the market. Sometimes the FIs will come, sometimes they will go. But the important point is our domestic money is continuously increasing. 3-4 years back, the monthly contribution in the systematic investment plan, that is SIP of mutual fund. Most of you already have seen the advertisements of SIP. SIP everywhere the advertisement goes nowadays. So SIP is nothing but systematic investment plan. So every month automatically in your bank account, the particular amount will be deducted, whatever amount you choose. Some people will choose 10,000, some will choose 50,000, some will choose 1 lakh rupees. That amount's automatically deducted from your salary or your account, whatever account, your bank account, and then accordingly same day whatever the units of mutual fund are bought, accordingly the price of that particular day. And yeah, that is basically a long term product. So 2021-22 around, the monthly SIP inflow in the Indian market from the domestic investor was around 10,000, 10,000, 12,000 crore a month. But now this figure is more than 30,000 crore. So every month more than 30,000 crores via SIP are coming into the Indian market from the domestic investors. Apart from that, there is a lump sum buying also. So SIP is a systematic buying. Every month the same amount will be cutting. Apart from that, the people like you and me, if they feel कि stocks are good to buy right now, they will put the bulk money. So मैंने अभी जाके 5 लाख रुपए डाला, मुझे लगा कि मार्केट नीचे है, so I'll go and buy 2-3 lakhs or 5 lakhs rupees of worth equities. So that is a lump sum buying. So there is a lump sum plus there is a SIP. So combinedly more than 30,000, 35,000 crores of cash every month is coming into the Indian market from the domestic fund. But on the other hand, FIIs are also selling. That's why market is not rapidly going up. But once the FI selling will stop, you will see maybe after 1 or 2 years, the markets will again make a new high. Maybe if there are some positive changes like good monsoon is there, war is basically stopped completely. Maybe by Diwali also you will see that our Nifty will also go back to the 26,000 kind of level, or it will make a new high. Why FI selling is same? Mostly FI money is moving to the US market. You must have heard the AI bubble. So most of the companies in US, they are coming with the IPOs. The Anthropic Cloud IPO is there. Recently, SpaceX came with the IPO and it was a super success story. and there are n number of AI companies like Nvidia. So most of the FI money they are moving into technology stocks like AI. Then they are moving into Taiwan stocks. Taiwan, they are making semiconductors. They are into data centers and some of the companies from the South Korea and China, of course. So these three, four countries saw the major inflow from the FI as against outflow of the Indian market from the FI. So India से बेचा इन लोगों ने and they have bought it into US, Taiwan, China, and Hong Kong. Not Hong Kong, Korea, South Korea, basically. So these four countries have seen the inflow, and the other countries have seen the outflow of the FI money. And that is the reason our market has not performed in the last 2 years. But if you observe the Nasdaq, it has gone like crazy. Just see the Nasdaq return. Our 1 year return of the Indian market is minus 10-20%. But see, 1 year return of Nasdaq. It is up 36%. Just index wise, not a stock. Entire index is up 36% year on year. It is at the all-time high currently. See, just almost at the all-time high. So they have given more than 36% return in the 1 year, but Nifty is minus 10% in the 1 year. So that kind of outperformance Nasdaq has done. Taiwan market is up more than 2 times in the current year. Just go and check the Chinese market. They are also up 60% in 1 year. So all these markets went up because they saw FII money coming into, and Indian market saw the FII outflow. The reason was simple. There was a AI theme which played out in these markets, and that is the reason our markets got sold into. And plus, we are having some taxes. Earnings growth is not that much high. Valuation was also higher on the our market in the last 2 years. So, a number of things happened. But now, again, after 2 years, small cap is seeing some kind of a momentum. So, if you see Nifty is still struggling, if you see the long-term chart of Nifty, this is a daily chart. It is not yet bounced back from the low. So these are the lows 22,000 around, and we are still only at this much of up. But if you compare small cap, see, small caps came to this kind of level, but from there they have gone to so high. See, look at the chart. It is almost near to the high, the previous high in the small cap index. That kind of outperformance the small cap index has seen as compared to the regular index. That is basically a Nifty. So that is the difference between a major large cap index versus a small cap. So the point which I referred to was is basically outperformance in the small cap index, and same way you can observe it in the mid cap also. So if you just click on the mid cap, see, it also came down to this kind of level, and now it is up to this, almost at the new high. So mid cap and small caps are making highs. They are at the all-time high. Mid cap is at the all-time high index. But your portfolio is not high because Nifty is not yet higher. Most of the stocks in your Nifty are basically IT names you see. If you just click on the chart of IT stocks, you will see the real pain and kind of beating they have seen. It's like crazy. Just check on the charts of Infi. See, from around 1600 level, 1700 level, it is close to 1000 rupees, 60% fall in just 6 months. See, previously it was 1800. 1800 का स्टॉक 1000 रुपए पे आ गया है, मतलब ऑलमोस्ट 70-80% फॉल, नॉट 40% फॉल. TCS 4500 से 2000, 50% fall. So these are some of the examples. HCL Tech again, similar story. So all the Indian IT players have seen beating. See, it was around 1800 rupees. Now it is 1100. Again, a 40% kind of a drop. So most of the Indian IT companies have felt sharply. Mid cap is basically mid-level companies. There are companies which are from Nifty 50. These are large companies according to the size. So first 100 companies are considered as large cap companies. Above 100 to 250, you can say. Those 150 companies are known as mid cap size wise, market valuation size wise. And 250 to 500, it is known as a small cap company. So first 100 are the large cap, 101 to 250 is your mid cap, and 250 onwards to 500 companies, that is your small cap index. So this is just a definition given by SEBI recently for the mutual fund players. So see, because of the IT sector slowdown in the earnings, most of the stock market had seen the beating because led by the IT sector. As against that, if you see the banks, they have gone well. If you just check the example of ICICI Bank. It has not fallen much. See, in the last 1 year, see, from 840 kind of levels to it is again to 1300. If you observe the IT charts, they are exactly reverse. They are like this. They are going down, 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 down. But yeah, some of the other stocks they are gone up well in the Indian market also. So it's not like that all the stocks are going down in the Indian market. But the major contributor in the fall is the IT index. Most of the stocks have declined by 30-40%. They're almost at the 6-7 year low prices currently. And the reason is same, because we are not actively involved into AI technology. That money has been shifted to those companies which are actually in the AI. The companies like ChatGPT, Anthropic, Claude, maybe Gemini, Google, Meta, then semiconductor companies like Nvidia, chip makers. Those kind of companies saw the investors' interest, and that is the reason these stock prices went up. So there is a difference between your AI tech versus your other companies like ITES, Indian Services. So that was the major reason. Now we will go further. We'll study what is a dividend. So anybody knows what is a dividend? Dividend क्या होता है? किसी को idea है? Who gets dividend? Anybody of you have heard from your parents? The shareholders, right? तो डिविडेंड क्या है? अगर कंपनी को 1000 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट हुआ, if they get 1000 crores of profits, the company management or the board of directors they decide that we want to distribute maybe let's say 100 or 200 CR out of the 1000 CR profit in we made in particular year. So they will divide that 200 CR into all the shareholders and it gets distributed equally. Equal in the sense, those who are, let's say they said ki we are declaring a profit per share dividend of 5 rupees. So those investors who are holding 100 shares, they'll get 500 rupees. If someone is holding 1 lakh share, he will get 1 lakh into 5 lakh rupees. So accordingly, that dividend is distributed. As per your number of shares, you get that dividend. So it is nothing but a distribution of the profits in the hands of the investors of the company or the shareholders of the company. Profitable companies usually pay the dividend. And it is declared on the face value. Let's say कि अगर आपका स्टॉक 1000 रुपए का है और फेस वैल्यू आपका 2 रुपए का है, और अगर कंपनी का बोला कि we are declaring 100% dividend, so it is means on the 2 rupee of face value they are declaring 100% dividend. It means 2 rupees per share only and not the 1000 rupee, because the price of the stock is 1000. So usually dividend is declared on a face value of the company, or they will also mention that 2 rupees per share is the dividend is what we are declaring. That is the calculation. Then there are some ratios like dividend payout or dividend yield. So payout is nothing but dividend per share upon your earning per share. So out of the net profit, how much earnings the company is distributing is called as dividend payout. If the company is making 1000 crore net profit and they are distributing, let's say 500 CR, so dividend payout is basically 0.5. That is the difference between dividend payout. And what is dividend yield? So yield is nothing but it is calculated on the market price. Let's say your stock price is 1000 rupee and the dividend per share is 10 rupee. So dividend yield is how much? It is nothing but 10 divided by 1000 into 100. So in the percentage wise, it will become 0.1% dividend. So yield is basically calculated on the actual stock price in the market, and dividend payout is usually calculated on the EPS or the net profit, you can say. Earning per share is again your net profit divided by number of shares. अगर आपका net profit 1000 है, आपके number of shares let's say 100 है, तो per share कितना आएगा? 10 रुपए, right? So that is basically earnings per share. You just have to divide the actual net profit figure divided by number of shares. That gives you earning per share. So simple major difference is dividend payout is calculated on earning per share. So formula ये है EPS upon EPS. And dividend yield, if you want to calculate, it is basically calculated on the actual stock price. Won't it be 1%? 1% how? See, if you are calculating yield, it is calculated on the stock price. Stock price is 1000 and you are declaring 10 rupees per share. So 10 divided by 1000 into 100 कितना हो गया वो 0.1%. दैट इज द थिंग. एंड अगर पे आउट ही निकालना है आपको डिविडेंड पे आउट, सो दैट इज बेसिकली ईपीएस और नेट प्रॉफिट यू कैन से. So if somebody is declaring dividend per share of 2 rupees and earnings per share is also 2 rupees, so you can say 100% of dividend payout, 0.01. So now again, let's take an example. Let's say stock price is 100 rupee. Company has declared dividend of 5 rupees. So what is the dividend yield? 5 rupees dividend divided by actual price of the company. How much? 100 rupees. And into 100 kya, so you will get 5. So 5% is your dividend yield. This is how you calculate. Let's say a company declared dividend of 15 rupees. Your stock price is 125 rupees. So how much it will be? 0.12. So 12%. So depending on what is your actual price and what is your market price, dividend yield is calculated, right? 12. Can you find out which are the high dividend paying companies in the Indian stock market? Maybe you can use the Google or whatever tools you have and just tell me few answers. Which are the companies in the Indian markets which are having the high dividend yield? Give me 2, 3 names. High dividend paying stocks in the Indian market. Just find out the names. Maybe 4 or 5 names are enough. Just find out, do Google, whatever you can do, and give me 4 or 5 names. Which are the high dividend yield companies in Indian stock market? Coal India, ONGC, Vedanta, right? So how did you find it? Google, right? Yes. So if you just have to check it here, let's say if we typed Coal India, see the dividend yield, almost 6% dividend yield. So if you are buying a stock worth 400 rupees, around 25 rupees of dividend you are getting per share per year. That is what? HCL Tech. It is again a decent, see, again 4.9, 5% dividend yield. These are some of the examples. ONGC, take a look. Again, 5% dividend yield. So these are some of the companies which give you a good dividend. Coal India, Vedanta, Hindustan Zinc, PTC India, Gas India. That is right. So 4 to 5% kind of dividend yield is considered as a very good dividend yield. Considering most of the other companies, they will give you dividend yield of hardly 0.5 to 1% maximum. Average is usually 1% or below 1%. But yeah, these are the companies which are giving you 4 to 5% dividend. So those investors who typically want some kind of cash flow yearly into their account from the actual profits of the company, they prefer to buy such kind of stocks. Yeah, the stock prices may not go high that comparatively because these are the matured companies and not the growth companies. There is always a catch between a growth and a dividend. So those companies which are there from the last many years, they don't have much to invest into new companies. These are the companies which will give you a good dividend. And the companies which are already in a growth phase, they always need a capital to reinvest into the business. So these companies will not declare you a good dividend. So you have to choose if you want to have a dividend or you want to make higher profits on your actual share prices. That is a mindset of the some of the investors or a growth investors, you can say. They don't prefer to buy dividend yield stocks because they want the stock prices to appreciate faster than the average stock prices of the other market companies. So yeah, typically the retired people, those who don't have much kind of income, they prefer such kind of dividend yield stocks because they get something out of it. So every maybe 3, 4 months, every quarter you get dividend. So your cash flows are being taken care of because you don't have a job right now. Yeah, those kind of people, they want dividend companies. On the other hand, those who want to make a huge long-term wealth, they prefer buying growth companies. So yeah, again, someone is asking these companies never go to loss. See, because these companies are operating, Coal India is operating from 30, 40 years. Bank of Baroda, their HCL Tech, these are the high cash rich companies. Their business model is set. That is the reason usually they don't go into the losses. And if they go into the losses, they will not pay dividend for that particular year. That is always the case. Ultimately, when you are profitable, then only you will make a dividend payout decision. In the particular year, because there is some activity in the business which is bad, they may not pay the dividend in the particular year. But yeah, next year again they make profit, they'll pay the dividend. That is what. It is ultimately the management call if they have to particularly pay the dividend to the particular year or not. Sometimes if one year just they make loss, they still will pay the dividend because they have the cash reserve from the last few years. That also can happen. It is entirely a company management policy decision whether they want to pay or not. As simple as that. See again, market is in the small range today as well. Nifty chart you are seeing. See, it was again a gap down. Yesterday closed at 24,170. It directly opened near this 23,980. Almost 200 points down from the yesterday close. Because overnight there were few news items which were released, like the results of the Accenture company. Then again some war related news items also start coming in. As a result, the market opened gap down today. The next concept was stock split. What is a stock split? It is a corporate action in which a company divides its existing shares into multiple shares. अगर किसी कंपनी की वैल्यू फेस वैल्यू इफ ऑफ अ कंपनी इज 10 रुपी, they will reduce it to the 2 rupees. So one share will become a 5 share. And why companies do it? Let's say a company whose stock is trading, they have 1 lakh shares in the market right now. And if they reduce the face value from 10 to 2, number of shares will increase by 5 times. So 1 lakh share will become how much? 5 lakh shares. So what is the advantage? Now, previously, only 10,000 investors were holding total 1 lakh shares. If the shares are becoming 5 lakhs, so there is a more liquidity. Number of shares are increasing, so it will basically increase the volume of the shares in the market for that particular company. So for that reason, some of the companies they prefer to do the stock split. Also, if the stock split when you're due, let's say if your stock reaches 5,000 rupees, so not the small investors will be attracted to buy such kind of expensive stock. The company reduces the face value from 10 to 2. So stock price will also fall from 5,000 to 1,000. And again, it will gradually increase after 1 or 2 months, 3 months, whatever, after the results. So to reduce the price by that particular margin so that the smaller investors also get attracted to the stock, and to improve the volume or liquidity in the market, the stock splits are done. That is again an example. Same concept is with bonus share. Bonus share is nothing but, again, bonus is basically if you are holding 100 shares of a company and company declares bonus of 1:1. So your 100 shares will become 200 because company saw that they have made a good profit and now they want to reward the shareholders. So they declare a bonus share. But the only difference between the stock split and the bonus share is your face value remains the same in case of the bonus share. So if your face value earlier was 5 rupees, in case of stock split into 1:5, it will become 1 rupee of face value. But in case of bonus share, if your stock face value was 5 rupees, after bonus share also it will remain 5 rupees. So that value will be that much only. So in the future course of your dividend payouts, you may get benefit because your actual face value has remained the same. So that is the only difference between the bonus share and the face value or a stock split of the stock, basically. Stock split versus bonus. The only difference is basically face value. So anybody of your family members are holding dividend paying stocks. If you know, you can just type few names if your parents are holding any kind of these stocks. Yes, anybody? Any dividend paying stocks in your portfolio of parents? Yeah, Vedanta someone has written good example. So you can again check today and go and ask your parents that are you holding any good dividend paying companies in your portfolio? And since how long you are paying the dividend on that? You are getting dividend on that, not paying. And how much dividend you have got till now in the last 5 years? You can just ask or check with them. And the next concept is share buyback. What is a share buyback? If a company which is listed, let's say Infosys feels At 1,000 rupees, the stock is undervalued, and then the company itself decides that it will buy back the shares. Buyback में क्या होता है? Let's say company is having total shares of 1 lakh which is issued and holding by the investors, and now they want to reduce the number of shares to maybe let's say 90,000 from 1 lakh. So another 10,000 shares they will decide to buy back because they feel stock prices are not moving good in the upward direction. There are more number of stocks or liquidity is so high, and that is the reason maybe because the stock price is not going up. So they will decide that yeah, the stock is undervalued, so we should basically buy a few stocks and reduce the liquidity. For that reason, some of the companies decides to go for the share buybacks. It also facilitates your earning per share increases. How much? How come? Let's say previously if you had 10,000 shares and now company bought 1,000 shares out of it. So now your number of shares are 9,000. So let's say your annual profits are 1 lakh. Earlier your EPS would be how much? 1 lakh divided by 10,000. So your EPS was 10. Now your EPS would be 10 lakh divided by 9,000. See, 11.11. So 10% increase in the EPS because number of shares are down. To improve the EPS also, yes, trading part also will come. Some of the technical concepts in the last two sessions. Initially, we are trying to cover most of the fundamental part, and yeah, last two sessions we'll try to focus on the charts. So basically, how to derive any kind of swing trading idea or something like that. That is we'll cover. These are some basic concepts that you should know because you are entering in the market and you may start trading in the next 1 or 2 years. This is a share buyback. Nothing but buying your own shares from the market to reduce the liquidity. Read the example. Suppose the company having a total 1 CR issued shares as of now, stock is trading at 600, which is down 25% from the top. Management feels that it is undervalued and it will decide to buy it up to 10 lakh shares in the next 1 month. So post buyback shares कितने होंगे उनके 90 lakhs. पहले कितने थे 1 crore. Hence the EPS calculation it will increase. The same example which we saw. To improve the EPS also, company sometimes decides to do the buybacks in the open market. So just try to find out if there are any recent buybacks. Just Google it. Share buybacks in Indian stock market recently, 2026. How many companies have done the share buybacks in the last 1 year? 2025 or 2026? Uh, it's sort of false hope. See, when company itself they're putting their money to buy their own stock, it gives you some kind of a signal that they are seeing it as an undervaluation. Otherwise, why will they buy? If the stock is already pricey stock, they won't do it usually. So usually just to improve the confidence of the investors, sometimes the companies take these kind of measures or to reward the current shareholders. And whenever usually they will do buyback, it is usually 25 to 30% higher than the current price. Otherwise, nobody will give them into the buyback. Bajaj Auto, yes, Bajaj Auto has done some kind of a buyback in the last 1 year. I think Wipro has also done something recently, very recently, last month only. Buyback news. Kajaria Sidemates, okay. Okay, so these are some of the examples. Rest other examples also you can go and find out. Stock market evaluation and the market, no, market capital is the valuation of the stock. And stock market evaluation is basically how do you evaluate something. That is a different thing. English, basically. English words. These are. The one is the market capitalization is the actual valuation of the company. Evaluation is something I don't know what you're trying to say here. Evaluation is basically you're trying to evaluate how the stock market is. This is what I get. Or do you want to ask something different here? If you say only stock market valuation and Market capitalization, yes, they are same. Evaluation is something different. Stock market valuation and market capitalization, yeah, they can be same thing. Because usually people refer to stock market valuation as market capitalization. So it is not evaluation, it is valuation. So let's check some of the live examples again today. Yes, if you can find out who are the top gainers in the Nifty today, just Google it. We will try to see their graphs. See, market again has collapsed so much. Oh God. From 980 again to 900 in just 10 minutes. Again, a sharp fall in the market. Just 10 minutes. So some of the gainers today are Airtel, Trend, Bajaj Finance, Bharat Electronics, Indigo. Let's see. Bharat Electronics is BEL. It is slightly up, but not really up today. Yeah, now it has came down. We want to see the top gainers. Top gainers today. Just type it top gainers, top 20 gainers and losers. And the Nifty top gainer is Eternal. That is Zomato. Maybe you can find it Nifty next 50 or F&O security. So top 200 shares में कौन से top gainers है? So BDL is there, GVT&D, it is up 3%, it is up 4%, it is up 3% again, Oro Pharma. Some of the pharma stocks are up today. See, Renmark, Oro Pharma, Laurus Labs. Usually if the market is falling, pharma stock starts rising. That is the same. And there are losers. See, Infi is the top loser. 7-8% down. TCS again 5%, 4% down. LTM, L&T Mindtree again 5% down. Emphasis again, all the IT companies are down. Tech Mahindra, HCL Tech. So all 7 to 8 names you see persistent. How many IT names do you see here? So number of IT names. So all the IT stocks are down today, and few other names are up today. That is the story of the today's stock market. Mostly dominated by the IT selling. That is what you can conclude from the kind of observation. See the kind of moves. See, it came here, and suddenly in few seconds now the market is gone to this level. There is a huge volume shocks right now in the market. Very fast movements. It is almost impossible for new traders to catch some kind of fast moves. In few seconds, it is moving like this. This is basically a Nifty chart. So we studied that there are Nifty and Sensex two indexes basically, and basically people trade options there. So It is close to 23,950. The closest option for us is 24,000. We just have to look the how the option prices are moving. So this is the lot of the one Nifty is basically 65 rupees. So if you want to buy stock worth 196 rupees, how much money you would require? 13,000, 14,000 kind of. But just see the kind of price it is reacting. So last 2 minutes ago, it was around 178. Now it is 198 almost. For 20 rupees up in just 2 3 minutes. So 20 rupees is how much? 20 into 65. So 65 ka ek lot hai. So in just 5 minutes, you would have made how much? 1300 rupees if you would have bought this option. These kind of moves happen in the options market. That's why people keep trading. But yeah, mostly 90% people lose money in the options because it is a volatile instrument. And that is why SEBI always comes up with these kind of regulations that they want to curb the volumes into F&O. And they encourage long-term investing. Because in the long-term investing, mostly 70 or say 80% people will or actually can make money if they hold good companies from let's say 5 years, 10 years down the line. They'll make something out of it. But on the other hand, if you keep trading and you're not good at it, you'll lose money every year. You have to be extremely good and skilled to be able to trade in the options. Once you spend 7 8 years, then that is the kind of expertise you need to be able to surviving in these kind of options market basically. See the kind of moves because it is a Friday. Then again there is a holiday tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. Usually Friday you can see such kind of movements because next 2 days you don't know what is going to happen overnightly with Iran, US. Maybe again they will start a war, or they will say that yeah our war is over now. So accordingly Monday the market will react. So that's why some people prefer to close the positions on the Friday, and then they will directly trade on the Monday. They will not do anything here. See the market reaction. It was down here, and in the next 5 minutes, from 23,900, it is 24,000, like 100 points up. Look at the crazy move. Oh God, it's actually crazy. Someone suddenly bought it. Wow. Here also see small cap index. See, oh, this is again next level craze. So it came down here, and in one 5 minute candle, it went from here to here. This is unusual. This is a classic big bull candle, you can say. This is a strong bullish candle because it is this candle alone is bigger than the entire all the days today's candles combinedly. This is a candle. So there was some sudden basket buying by maybe a mutual fund, you can say. So anybody of you know that your some of your parents are into trading or they trade stocks or they trade options? Anybody of you have spoken with them? Or if you have any vague idea what actually your parents do? Are they investors or they are into trading as well? Long term, yeah. Emmy, what is Emmy? Or me? What exactly you have written? What is Emmy? Sagra. Options and long term both. Okay. So those who are into trading, their parents basically, you can just go and ask them "Okay, what kind of trading you prefer. Do you trade in stocks or do you trade in options? And what is basically a logic behind it, or how do you decide to buy some stock or some kind of option? You can also check what is the thought process behind it and try to learn from it. Ask them, "Okay, is it a profitable good thing you have done till now, or you are facing some kind of challenges?" This is how you can actually check the charts. let's say this trend was again down. See how much up. This stock was here, then it came down to here. But those who able to buy here from 2400 to 3200, how much it is up in just 1 month. If somebody are able to bought it here, almost 800 points up. So almost 30% up in 1 month. This stock, 1.5 months you can say, 45 days, 30% up. Some of the stocks have given these kind of returns. Another stock, Dixon Technology. Again, it was here around 9,800 and now it is around 12,500. Again, around 20-25% kind of up move. You can check Bank of Baroda. It was here, now it is here. Let's take an example of Gabriel, again, a auto ancillary company. It went down to here 850 and now again almost 1200. Maybe you can say around 45% of upside this stock has also seen. So in just 2 months, 30-40% kind of move you can get into the stocks if you got it right. That is the main reason. For that you need to study all the market fundamentals. You should also have a good technical analysis study, and number of things are required. And once you spend 3-4 years in the market, you will able to grasp it. So there are a number of news, there are geopolitical events, there is a war, and number of things happen in the market. Accordingly, the prices reacts. And once you spend 4-5 years time, you'll start to understand what kind of news will impact in what way to the market. And then gradually you will be able to improve your judgment on overall the stock price actions. So what are other gainers today? If you calculate all securities, you will see. So which are the stocks which gave you 52-week high? 120 stocks recorded 52-week high today. These are the stocks. ABSL, MCIL, Equus, Apex. So in the next 50 index, these are some of the top gainers. EOGL, EML. There's nothing but Vedanta Aluminum, Solar Industries, Indian Hotel, and so on. Market has given a good bounce in the last 10 minutes, you can see. 52 weeks is nothing but 1 year. So typically people try to find out which are the stocks which performed best in the last 1 year. And that is why 52-week high or 52-week low. The stock prices which are trading at 52-week high means last 1 year ka high price jo hai, the stock is trading at that price today. So it is a significant because the entire last 1 year rally it has beaten, and now it is again trading at the higher price than that. So that is a way to basically judge bullish momentum in stock. And 52-week low means the stock price is at the low of the last 1 year. So today's price is basically the lowest prices of the last 1 year. So it shows that the bearishness in the stock. Why there why there is such incline in profits today? So today is basically nothing but we all see, because I mentioned you that it is a weekend, Friday, and 2 days investors usually don't know exactly what way the war will go out. There is a chance that there may be some kind of escalation again in the Iran and the US, and some of the investors will feel that there may not be some kind of escalation and it is again a over kind of situation. So that is the reasons there are some kind of sudden moves. There are large trades happen usually on the Friday because there is a 2 days of weekend ahead. So usually Friday you will see this kind of action, either upside or downside sudden moves. Most of the times on Fridays, especially whenever there is a geopolitical event going on. Otherwise, the markets are flat on Friday also sometimes. But yeah, whenever there is some kind of event, war, geopolitics things involved, yeah, the far markets are volatile on Friday. It will move on both the sides. Or if it is moving in the some direction, it will go ferociously on the side. Something will happen, but yeah, movements will be bigger if it is a Friday. Now, the like we have find out the top gainers of today. Just Google it or and tell me which are the top gainers for the last 1 year in the Nifty 500 index. Just give me the answers. Top gainers, top 10 gainers in the Nifty 500 in the last 1 year. So which are the stocks which performed best? Top 10 stocks in the Nifty 500 index. तो टॉप के 500 स्टॉक्स में से टॉप के 10 स्टॉक्स आपको चाहिए जिसने सबसे ज्यादा रिटर्न दिया इन द लास्ट 1 ईयर. जस्ट गूगल इट एंड टेल मी द नेम. Yes, what are your answers? Let me find out. No, no, no. I told you to find out top gainers of the last 1 year. So the stocks which has given you a good returns in the last 1 year. Yes, Hitachi Energy is the right answer. HFCL is the right answer. So what you have to find is top gainers of last 1 year. You just have to type it here and you'll get the answer. Top gainers of 1 year. There are a number of sites. Maybe you can go to Trendline. It is a good site to find out yearly data. You just have to select the stock universe. So here we want Nifty 500. So Nifty 500 may say I have to log in first, I guess. Yeah. You can just log in with your Gmail also in this site. So these are the stocks which has given the highest return from the Nifty 500 index. Last 1 year. See, Aditya Infotech, 400% up. So stock became 4 times in the last 1 year. Ether Energy, 200%. Acuitas Chemical, almost 200%. NetWeb, 189%. HFCL, Sirma, Bellright, Kirloskar Oil. So these are the stocks which gave you the highest return in the last 1 year. This is the answer. So see the amount of returns, 150%, 200%. So almost a number of stocks have doubled in the last 1 year. So the market is at not all-time high, but there is some movement always going on in the some kind of the stocks. That is what I wanted to tell you. In the market, if the even if the Nifty is not performing well, there always will be some stocks which will be keep making new highs every day because the broader market looks different than actual the Nifty index. There is a huge difference between them. So always try to focus on such small cap, mid cap level of stories which will multiply or can multiply your wealth. That is what I wanted to tell you. Now today, as an exercise, maybe you can go and discuss with your parents which kind of mid cap and small cap stocks or which kind of small cap and mid cap funds, mutual funds you are holding, and how long you are holding it, and what kind of returns you have made it till now. This is something as exercise you discussed today. In the next session, I think it is tomorrow only, I guess, right? So tomorrow we can discuss about more into it and a few more concepts of fundamental analysis, other factors. So today, just go and discuss with your parents what kind of small cap and mid cap stocks they are holding, and if there are any fund, mutual fund, they are holding into small cap or mid cap category, and what kind of returns they have made till now in the last few years. That is what you have to go and discuss with your parents today. And yeah, tomorrow in the session, we'll again take it further in the concepts of fundamental analysis. Okay, clear everybody? So I think we can wrap it up today here because yeah, today's part is over. Tomorrow again we have to take some new concepts in the fundamental analysis. So I think, yeah, we are good to stop here today. And let's meet tomorrow again at 2 o'clock. Fine. Anybody having doubt, so you can ask me. We'll wait for the 5 minutes. Otherwise, we will stop. Yeah, this is the homework for today. Just discuss with your parents if they have any kind of small cap or mid cap mutual funds or any small cap or mid cap stocks which have generated huge returns. And what was the reason of buying those kind of stocks and how many times or whatever. How long you have bought it, like how many years have you invested in this kind of stocks? Some of the parents will say, I have invested in this stock from the past 4 to 5 years. What kind of returns they have got? Yeah, group assignment I will give in the next session, not today. Tomorrow I will announce the group assignment. So today just discussed what kind of small cap and mid cap stocks you are holding or any small cap or mid cap mutual funds and what kind of returns they have made and since how long they are investing in that small cap or mid cap. That is the today's homework. And we will continue from it tomorrow. Markets are going good again in the last 20 minutes. See, it came here and sudden up move here. Maybe again somebody had said about the war. Maybe Donald Trump again. So I think there are no doubts. Then yeah, we can stop it here today. Let's meet tomorrow and we will continue from here in the fundamental analysis. Okay, guys. Yeah, then yeah, goodbye and see you tomorrow.